Welcome back to Hoodies and Headbands, the official author YouTube channel for myself, Cody Van Dusen. New headband, new hoodie. This one's a dress. That's kind of cool. Goes all the way down. No pants. What are we talking about here? The countdown to my book release is on. I am starting to sweat, metaphorically of course. It is getting colder out because it's autumn, which is amazing. My book comes out in just under 2 weeks now, and it's been an absolute nightmare on the way there. I ordered the sample copies from Ingram Spark and Kindle Direct. Both of them have taken an absolute lifetime to come in, so less than 2 weeks to go to make revisions to get everything in order, and I still don't actually have the copies to look at. So it's going to be a fun couple of weeks for me as I try to figure that out and not lose my mind. In the meantime, I am running publicity like it's my day job, sending out different query packages to reviewers and different press releases, newspapers. I've also got my first book signing lined up, which is super exciting. I'm so stoked to have that scheduled. So, aside from book signings, how does an indie publisher get their books in front of readers? One of the ways is through ARC readers, advanced readers. If you guys have been following my page, then you know that about a month ago now, I sent out a whole bunch of ebooks to anyone who subscribed early to my website at codyvandusen.com. Reviews have started to trickle in on Goodreads, so far a lot of really positive feedback. It's nice. People are starting to add the book to their want to read list, which is amazing. These are people that I don't know, people I've never connected with personally. It's just coming through these recommendations. And the recommendations themselves so far have been fantastic. I can't even express, I've spent, oh my gosh, almost 5 years now working on this book. So to finally be at the point where complete strangers are reading it and enjoying it and recommending it to other people just means the world. Some of the reviews I've gotten, Wendy, who gave it a 5-star review, said, "I got a lot of King and Coots vibes from reading this story. Starts a little slow, but once I got to part 2, I could not put it down. Very creative and intense." Linda, also another 5-star review, said, "I loved this book. Very well written and descriptive. I could feel the emotions of the characters jump out of every page. At first I thought part 2 should be part 1. However, after reading part 2, I realized I would not change a thing, and it made perfect sense to me. I'm looking forward to reading more from this author." One thing I love about these reviews is how balanced they are. They pointed out about the story starting kind of slow, something I totally respect, something that was done intentionally, because I think to really build a good story, you have to start a little bit slower a lot of the times. I'm sure as readers, everyone's had a book where they've read it and it starts off really like flashbang, it's got a hook, right from the beginning, they're absolutely absorbed into this book and these characters. And then they're like a third of the way, halfway through the book, and they're like, where is this going? Because even though it was hooky in the beginning, it didn't take time to establish the stakes, to make the conflict actually meaningful. And so those books tend to fizzle out. They start to drag in the middle, maybe get boring, maybe the story just completely falls apart. And the endings don't tend to be as impactful. Those aren't the endings that stick with you after reading. So I love that Wendy mentioned that in her review, because now other readers will know going into this book, it's going to start a little bit slow, but once you get into it, you are going to get into it. The other important thing about balanced reviews is that I think that when all of the comments on an author's page and book are positive, it makes it harder to trust it. Like when I see an independent author who has some reviews on their page, maybe it's not like a ton yet, but when all the reviews are 5 stars and there's no balance in the review, there's no negatives or areas that could have been improved on with the things the reader loved, it makes me wonder if it's just family and friends leaving reviews, and if that's the case, I don't know that they're being honest about whether I'm going to enjoy the book as a reader or whether they're just, doing it because they're trying to help out friends and family with this book they've just put into the world. So, advanced readers, the reviews that are being left ahead of launch on the 22nd, super important, generates traffic. A few other ways that I've tried to generate buzz that are very common ways that authors try to generate buzz around indie books. Instagram giveaways. I had mentioned on my Facebook page last week that I was running an Instagram promotion concurrently with someone on Instagram that I suppose would consider themselves an influencer. It was okay. I would say that my follower count probably doubled from the giveaway. The only problem with that, though, is I don't know if that's actually going to translate into people who are interested in my book, or if they were just, liking and sharing because there was a free book involved. I've tried Facebook too. Facebook ads are a great way. I think it really caters to the demographic of people who are making most of the book purchases in the industry right now. Again, though, until the book comes out, not going to really have an idea about whether these are going to translate over to people actually reading the book. And so once the book is launched and I've run some ads, I'm definitely going to be talking a little bit about those ad campaigns, because I think it's super helpful to other people who might be watching this, wanting to publish independently, to know I guess some of the best practices when doing it, what works, what doesn't. And then lastly, I'm considering doing a Goodreads giveaway. So they have it set up, you pay a small fee, they give your book away to like 100 people through this draw. People are signing up. My understanding, I have other friends who've tried it out. You get a lot of people who are adding your book to their want to read list, which is nice. So those people are actively reading, they're actively looking for book recommendations and going through the books on their list. So I think that might be something that's viable, but I'm not quite sure yet, just because one thing I heard was that they don't give you any data afterwards. And data is very important to indie authors. If you don't know if your dollars that you're investing in advertisements are translating into sales, you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot. You want to be able to follow up with people, because it's so rare that someone's going to see an advertisement and that single advertisement is going to influence them to purchase your book. There's definitely something to be said about repetition, and also that combination of word of mouth. So like I said, those advanced reviews, seeing what other people, their peers, fellow readers think about the book, and making sure that people are seeing your name or your book's name repeatedly, so that eventually those two are going to hit a kind of intersection, a sweet spot, where it's going to push them to take action and give your book a shot. Anyway, that's all I've got for today. So like I said, if you were one of my advanced readers, definitely use the link in the description to head to my Goodreads page and leave your review if you finished the book. Whether you loved it or hate it, any kind of review is still going to be helpful in getting the word out there, so that someone who might love it will be able to find it easier. And again, don't forget to follow me on Facebook or subscribe at my website, codyvanduzen.com, link also in the description, so that you stay up to date as I announce my book signings and other promotions that are going to be coming up following the launch day on September 22nd.